sold it. Thank you very much, Mary. I'm honored to be here, and it's so encouraging to see so many citizens sacrificing their time, although it's not too much of a sacrifice on this beautiful day, but to stand up for religious freedom. Many of our forefathers came to this country to escape religious persecution in search of the freedom to practice their faith freely. My mother's family, English Catholics, came to Maryland in the 17th century and flourished under the freedom granted the church and Catholics in this country, going on to help found orphanages, schools, and hospitals. One of them became the first bishop of Peoria, Illinois, and helped to found the Catholic University of America, which has sadly now had to file a lawsuit to protect its religious freedom. I am here today with you to stand up to ensure that my children may enjoy the same freedom that their forefathers did. In a just society, government must recognize religious liberty as a fundamental human right, not a matter of mere accommodation. Our founders understood this, and our nation has a long history of recognizing it. Our founders put religious freedom in the First Amendment to the Constitution, demonstrating its importance. And the United States has always protected rights of conscience through exemptions to otherwise just laws. To name just a few, exemptions from the draft for Quakers, exemptions from compulsory school attendance for the Amish, laws protecting healthcare providers from discrimination in the context of legalized abortion, laws protecting prison employees who have objections to the death penalty. Our nation also has a long tradition of civil disobedience, and we honor those who speak truth to power on matters of religion and conscience. One cannot think of the campaigns against slavery and for civil rights without also recognizing the religious and moral beliefs underlying those battles for the dignity and humanity of every person. You are here today in opposition to the HHS mandate that uses the coercive force of the government to require all employers to pay for contraceptives, sterilizations, and abortion-inducing drugs, with the narrowest possible exemption for churches. But this isn't just about religious people. It affects everyone. Imagine for a second a typical nonprofit pregnancy resource center, unaffiliated with any religious institution. Its mission is to help women choose life for their unborn children. They counsel women on how contraceptive drugs like Ella and Plan B cause early abortions. Not only would the mandate violate this employer's conscience, it would be in complete contradiction to the whole mission and purpose of the organization. That would be like requiring PETA to buy fur coats for all its employees. The problem is not simply that the mandate forces religious organizations to violate their conscience, but that the mandate requires everyone to do so. There are limits on religious freedom, to be sure. You can't just do anything you want in the name of religion. But the limits in this country have always been understood for the government to do only what is necessary to protect the public order. George Washington put it this way in a letter to a Hebrew congregation of his day: all possess alike liberty of conscience. Happily, the government of the United States, which gives to bigotry no sanction, to persecution no assistance, requires only that they who live under its protection should demean themselves as good citizens. Are we to believe that in order to be a good citizen, we must provide our employees with free contraception, even against our conscience? No! Are we to believe that the institutions that have been providing education, health care, service to the poor for centuries are now falling down on the job because they refuse to give their employees free birth control? No! If this mandate stands, where will the government's intrusion into the lives of believers end? It's not unreasonable to wonder what other controversial services could be forced upon employers, such as surgical abortion, assisted suicide, assisted reproductive technologies, embryonic destructive stem cell research, and human cloning. Is this what our founders intended? Of course not. You are here, you get it. You care about protecting religious freedom. And others care too. They may just not understand how important it really is, especially when the administration and the media have misled people into thinking this is an issue about cheap birth control. You must tell them, no matter what their opinion on contraception, that this mandate represents a serious intrusion into the lives of people of faith and conscience. Never before, on such an enormous scale, have Americans had to choose between practicing their religion and participating in the economic life of this country. Today, it may be about people of faith, but the mandate sets a dangerous precedent that undermines the freedoms enjoyed by all Americans. Thank you for standing up for religious